The SKS is kind of a contentious weapon. It's not particularly good, but you also can't really say that it's bad. The main reason for this is the weapon class it's associated with, the marksman rifles. So, out of the marksman class, there are 4 weapons capable of 1 shots to the body, and 2 weapons that require 2 shots to the body. The 2 weapons that require the 2 shots are semi-autos. It's the EBR and the SKS. So the reason why it's a little contentious is the majority of people running the marksman rifle class use them as fast quickscope rifles. Majority of them use the Kar 98 or the SPR, and I'm fairly sure the majority of them do use the SPR. So the reason why it is contentious is because these marksman rifles have slower aim down sight speed and sprint out times than the assault rifles and SMGs, obviously. Apparently it isn't obvious because I'm wrong. Assault rifles and marksman rifles have the exact same sprint out time. They're both slower than SMGs though. But at a distance, when you're looking at somebody, the higher one-shot range of the bolt action guns allows you to just shoot them once in the body and they're done for. But when you're using one of the semi-auto guns, you have to shoot them twice, and in the case of the SKS, like 3 times past 40 meters. Correction! At 50 meters is when it becomes a 3-shot weapon, assuming you're using no range boosting or range attracting attachments. And considering these guns do have a bit of recoil and visual kick, the chances of you just back-to-back landing 2 or 3 shots is very unlikely. So the majority of players don't bother using these 2 to 3 shot weapons at range, and instead will settle for a 1-shot weapon at range so that they can fire and forget. So the thing about the SKS is that it comes with a few attachments in order to adjust the way it plays. For example, we're going to be talking about the 10-round magazine, which speeds up the gun, allows it to have a shorter tactical sprint out time, faster aim down sight speed, faster movement speed, which makes it a bit more mobile than the other marksman rifles in the category, which seems to be kind of its shtick. But the other attachments, just for this gun that we're making in the video, are the wooden stock and focus. And I can't really explain focus because focus is not really a statistical attachment. It's a perk that just changes the amount of flinch when you get shot. So I don't really have any data to show you on how it works, but Exclusive Ace makes a video on it, and it does make a pretty huge difference. It's like, I don't know, throw a piece of paper at your head and then throw a rock at your head and tell me which one hurts more.
Jaeger. Jaeger.
Bro. Ooh.
The paper would be with focus and the rock would be without focus. So moving on to the attachments, we have the 10-round magazines, which increase your movement speed, increase your reload or decrease your reload speed, but by 0.01 second. So technically it increases your reload speed, but it really doesn't make a difference. Also, of course, it decreases your rounds by 10. You go from a 20-round magazine to a 10-round magazine, and you aim about 34 milliseconds faster, which is a significant amount of time in order to make your gun more mobile. So, should you run this attachment? And honestly, yeah. So, earlier on I was talking about using weapons at range. You're gonna either want a weapon with very low recoil, so you can just sort of laser them from a distance, or you want a weapon with strong one-shot potential, so that you can fire and forget once you have that shot lined up. If it's fire and forget, you don't really have to worry about recoil, because they're gonna be dead after the first shot anyway. So when you're using the guns like the SKS, which has even less range potential than the M14, I think stacking it up to be as mobile as possible is your best bet, because at a range you're going to be dominated by the other marksman rifles and sniper rifles, and probably assault rifles too, depending if the assault rifle is running a foregrip or a long barrel. So the thing about the 10 round is that because you're cutting your magazine capacity in half, you're not going to be able to fight with multiple people. I mean, you are going to be able to fight with multiple people, but just not to the same extent. It's kind of mitigated because at close range it's a 2-shot gun, and by close range I think within 40 meters, so not really close range but medium range and close range. The issue is that this gun doesn't have much recoil, but it does have a bit of kick. So you can see in the gameplay, I'll shoot at somebody, I'll think I'm hitting them, but I'm really not, and I just sort of die. Or for the most part, it's a 2-shot gun, but I shoot them like 6 times because my aim's all over the place. So that's one thing you're going to have to get used to, is constantly reloading. And even though it says it increases reload speed, it does so by like 1%. I think it's even less than 1%. So don't really account for that reload speed bonus. It barely exists. Overall though, a good attachment, because if you're going to be engaging multiple people in a firefight, even if you did have the 20-round magazine, you would need to kill them with the gun first, swap targets, and land 2 accurate shots while doing it. It's much less forgiving than an assault rifle and SMG at close quarters. So what you should be doing is you kill one person, you run away or reload your gun. The only time you should be killing 2 people in a single magazine is if they're like on your screen right next to the person you're already shooting, which does happen in the gameplay. But you can see I'm always reloading the SKS just because that magazine size is pitiful. So the next attachment is the SKS Woodstock. Now this one, I don't really have anything positive to say about it except for the aesthetics. It looks nice, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, I even put the graphic on screen, and it decreases your aim down sight movement speed by 15%. I've already told you this is a more close range focused marksman rifle, so decreasing the movement speed even more is not exactly a good thing. And some people like to run it with tac laser, and decreasing your movement speed while aiming down sight with a tac laser just makes it more obvious where you are. I think the only advantage of this rifle stock, outside of the way it looks, is that it gives you more aiming stability, which is good for range. It might give you more aim walking steadiness, which is sort of good for range, but I keep reiterating this, out of all the marksman rifles except for the crossbow, is probably the worst at range. Depending on how you set it up, maybe the Mark II carbine is worse at range, but we're not talking about the Mark II carbine. Would I recommend this attachment? Only if you like have an SKS, or if you want to replicate an SKS. I actually own one of these things, and I'll tell you right now, they got the gun feel and the recoil on point in this game. It's actually really not that hard kicking, but it feels like it's hard kicking.
You got it. There you go.
It's also is pretty comfortable. I can see why aiming stability is like the main bonus of the wooden stock, because it's a pretty damn comfortable gun to shoot. But overall though, this SKS wooden stock, this rifle stock, yeah, honestly it kind of sucks. You shouldn't use it. Actually, oh, you know what? All the stocks for the SKS suck except for the sawed-off stock, and even then, I'm not sure if I would run the sawed-off stock, because it's the equivalent of running a no stock, and I think you guys know just how much a no stock increases your recoil. And considering this gun has 10 shots, or 10 or 20 shots, and you're going to need to be accurate, blah blah blah, look, you get it. You want to be able to at least land 2 shots consistently, and increasing your recoil just makes that more difficult on you. And I already talked about focus, so that's honestly gonna be it. This gun is really simple. It only has 3 attachments. It's a simpler gun to do. But the reason why I brought this one up is because one of my subscribers was asking me to do LMG and marksman rifle videos, and I complied, so did the M249, and now I'm doing the SKS. The next video probably isn't going to be a girl's frontline weapon. It might be Blackbeard's Scar H from Rainbow Six Siege. So stay tuned for that one. Gameplay should be more fun, and I'll have more to talk about. Hopefully my friend is going to be in the video with me to discuss the Scar. It's a gun he has some experience with. It's a nice gun, and also I like using it in Modern Warfare. Guns I like using in Modern Warfare I make videos for more quickly because I'm used to the gun and I'm having fun. So that's pretty much it for the SKS. Simple gun. I still wouldn't say it's not bad, but it's not exactly good or great. It's better than the M14, but the M14 is pretty bad. I will say the M14 is pretty bad. So overall, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for Blackbeard's Scar H. Oh, actually, wait, no. I was also going to do an A12 video. Well, it depends which one I get gameplay on first, but yeah, that's about it. So have a nice day. Thanks for watching. And I'm just saying, there's a reason they threw away the SKS and went for the AK-47.